Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soul Horizons Tarot. I'm doing a reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is a general reading, so not all the messages, the story here is going to apply to everyone. So just keep that in mind. This isn't a one-on-one reading. This is going to be part one with what we have here, and then part two will go into more detail with clarifiers so we get more information on the story. If this first part resonates with you, I encourage you to check out part two. But regardless, this is still here. Even if you don't really want to look into it or it doesn't resonate, it's whatever you feel, I guess. Um, yeah, all my information is in the detail box, including how to schedule a private reading. And yeah, I think that covers it. So I'm trying to decide if I wanted you just do the one clarifier or just stick with the super basic story, and I think I should probably do that. But that probably means my second part two is probably going to be much longer. Um, so yeah, we'll start off with your overall energy here. Again, this is a general reading, and it's like a general collective, so there's no storyline I'm looking for. I'm reading for what I see. After this, I will be doing love readings, but I just started out with these and I figured I might as well finish them out. So, on your overall energy, you have the Eight of Pentacles, and going off of all these other cards, it seems like, especially with this Empress, which is your energy, that's Taurus and Libra energy there. So, it seems like you're very much in your own power. With the Eight of Pentacles as the overall energy, that would mean that your home, your resources, your wealth um, could literally be like maybe you're doing some remodeling in your home, or you're getting to a point where you have the final stages complete of like settling into a home, maybe even selling a home. Um, Maybe you have assets that you're looking over or you're accumulating. But yeah, the Eight of Pentacles is usually a card about the hard work, diligence, mastery of craft. It's like perfecting a skill set or just working a lot, putting all your time and energy into your career and the things that are important to you. That can include other things. It's not just um, job related. It can be within a family, within a relationship. But here, the way this card is represented in this deck, it's like he's building shelter for the things that are important. So he's got his money in here, he's got his pets. So the things that he treasures, he's keeping safe. Now keep in mind, signs and or gender are irrelevant. If I say he or she, I'm just saying the gender of the person or character on the card. So keep that in mind. This applies to men or women, um, as well as cross watchers. If you're watching as another sign and you're curious about a Taurus, just try to keep in your lane when it comes to understanding whose side you're looking at. So yeah, it seems like taking care of business basically is of the most importance to you right now. Now I feel like because there is rain here and we have Seven of Swords in the recent past, I think some of you have been through a bit of a struggle, maybe kind of a long-winded struggle, like something that's taken quite a bit of time to get to where you are, which right now that seems pretty positive with you as the Empress showing up here. Again, that is Taurus and Libra energy. So the Empress is she is like all of the queens of tarot combined. So she has a little bit of all of their strongest traits or personalities. She's very self-sufficient, very confident, very abundant. This could be, a business that you've started. Um, and I feel very much that for some of you, for many of you even, that this was something that you built from the ground up on your own with very little assistance from others, and you take pride in that fact. Um, and that's another aspect of the Empress. Everything that she has, she worked for, and she knows it. She knows her self worth. She's very confident. Um, she can be a mother, but even if she's not, she is somebody that is at a point in her life where she is in a good place to start a family. Um, Now we do have an emperor over here, so I don't know if some of you are coupled to your divine counterpart, your divine partner. This would be very much if this were a relationship, this would be a power couple. Two people that have kind of the same mindset, the same goals, the same creative force or energy. But we'll get to that later. So you are definitely in your element in the current energy. Now, when we clarify, we'll see a little bit deeper. You know, with the main cards coming out, sometimes the clarifiers, even if you have like a really positive card here, the clarifiers can sometimes show, kind of the opposite. So some of you may be struggling way more than what I'm saying right now, but that's just because we only have one card. But for the most part, you seem to be definitely like rocking it. Um, Very maybe self-empowered. Now this, some of you may be highly in tuned right now with your intuition because this little, what you call that? Not really sure what you would call that. It's like a structure here in the back, but what it is actually the High Priestess. If you were to see the High Priestess card, you would know that she's got the four pillars, and then behind her is a tarp or a piece of material. So usually that's not represented with the Empress, but here in this particular deck it is. So, some of you might be very intuitive at this time. Um, I don't know why I felt that was important to say. It just felt right. Because normally I forget that that's even there, but this time it kind of drew me to it. Yeah, so some of you may have just accomplished some type of goal after a long, arduous battle, or you're at the finishing stages. Because that's what I see here is he's adding the last brick to his little structure, his little shelter here that he's building, and the Empress is somebody who's very, very secure. She has pretty much all her ish together. Try to keep it G-rated. My goodness. Open the door and all these bugs flew in. Now they're swarming around the light. Okay, so in your surface mind, we have the Fool, and that is Pisces and Aries energy. This is what you're focused on and also what you want out of the situation. So this is a very optimistic, hopeful, somebody that is going, it's like a fresh start, but it feels more like you're already settled. So maybe you're just taking everything that you've accumulated, everything that you've done or built, and you're going in a new direction with that. That may mean maybe you've, gained a higher position within your work, or you're branching out, you're I mean, the Fool is also a card about taking a risk, taking a leap of faith. So there may be something that you guys are wanting or really optimistic about in the future to come towards you. You do have a Six of Wands down here. So they want you to keep that energy, keep that positivity. Um, there is a warning with the Fool, though, that just be careful not to take any unnecessary risks. Because while the Fool is kind of like that youthful spirit, it can also, it can be a bit dangerous as well. As if you can see, he's stepping off the cliff here, and you don't know how far down the ground is. So it's a little bit of like make sure um you don't take that risk, especially since we do have the Page of Swords down here. What that implies, or what I'm feeling from that, is that you don't have all the information. There's still something that you need to investigate or something that you need to figure out. Maybe you need to communicate with somebody about it. You're wanting to go in a new direction. You're wanting to start making plans towards whatever you've gained with the Empress and how to achieve more from that. Possibly, maybe some of you are moving, or you did get a promotion, or you are starting out on a new business or a new hobby, or like you're in the hustle right now and you're trying to um, go big or go home. But down here, this is what is hidden from you. And we have the Page of Swords. And like I said, the Page of Swords is, oh, that's a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy too, by the way. But again, sign's not as important as energy. That's the investigator of tarot, the detective, very curious, wants to learn, wants to gain knowledge. And we have two cards here of a very kind of youthful spirited, young at heart, even somewhat childlike. So maybe some of you are really happy and optimistic. But with the Page of Swords being in what you don't know, this can talk about, again, make sure you do the research, make sure you look at all the fine print, make sure um, that you don't take a leap of faith and do so without knowing all the facts. Now, another aspect of the Page of Swords may be that somebody is looking into you or trying to find out information on you. Now, that can be a possible employer, that could be, just somebody nosy, snooping. It could be a potential partner if you are not already coupled with someone, or even if you are, just somebody that wants to learn more about you and is kind of doing it in a way that's um, somewhat sneaky, because this sometimes is called the stalker card. Um, but we'll clarify that again in part two to see what exactly or who exactly this is. It could be one of two things: information that you don't know that needs to be communicated. You need to reach out to people that could possibly help you um, gain that knowledge, or you need to start looking into something yourself, or somebody that is possibly looking into you, trying to figure you out or figure out your motives, your intentions, or just they're curious. They're curious about you. The Empress is a very, whether you're a man or a woman, very magnetic, kind of inspiring and well respected person. Now, here in the recent past, this is something that is, because I made the spread shorter. Usually I do what's crossing you as a challenge here, but I made this card kind of both. What's something from your past that is still in some way affecting you, whether positively or negatively. But I did ask for it to be kind of something that's can present a challenge. And you do have the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords can talk about a deceptive energy, and we would definitely clarify that. Now, with these two cards here, this could very well be related. So, some of you may know that there was some type of deception or there's some type of sneaky behavior that can be lies, cheating, scandal, gossip. It is also a card about strategizing, trying to figure out a way of doing something um, kind of under wraps, but it's not like a malicious, it's not intended to be malicious in its sneakiness. It's just kind of, I kind of get that feeling. If that were the case, I think this is more like you're the type of person that doesn't talk about what you want to do, you just do it. So, behind behind the screen or behind the veil or whatever, you are making these moves quietly, but you're winning very loudly. You let your actions speak for you when it comes to your level of success that you're feeling right now. And I do feel that pretty strongly with that Empress. Not to say that you're not struggling at all, but so far these are good cards. But anyway, these two cards together could also talk about you just figuring out that there was some deception in the past. Somebody has communicated to you that there was some deception. You find out a truth. Um, Again, we'll clarify to see if those are related, but it does feel, um, and to say that you have been without challenges, that's not what I'm trying to imply. You do have two cards here with mountains in the background, and mountains can definitely represent challenges and obstacles. Um, it's really hard to read these without clarifying because I'm so used to like getting all the information right then and there. So just looking at one card, I'm actually out of practice with just doing a single card, but I am trying to make this shorter. So, but yeah, I don't think you're so much focused on the past, but maybe something that is coming that you're unaware of, or you maybe need to look into, um, is trying to figure out what that was. We'll definitely have to clarify that and see if that is a deception or something that just um, a plan of action that you committed yourself to, but in some way it must have presented a challenge because that's what I asked it to be. So that's why I'm thinking it's probably a sneaky behavior on somebody's part. So moving to what is coming towards you, the Emperor, and that is Aries. Aries energy, but from the card, I do get heavy Taurus. We do have like this, well, he looks more like a moose, but then he's got these Taurus figures here, or bulls. Um, but yes, like I said, that can represent your a match for you. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a lover. These can be very husband and wife. The Emperor and the Empress can represent that dualistic or that dynamic couple. It can also represent a boss, a father figure, somebody that has some type of higher position than you, even though you are the Empress. This could also be somebody that you look up to. So, like a mentor, a teacher of some kind. So we would have to clarify this, or it could also mean that you get even a better position. Not that the emperor is above the empress, but that's just you can't really go higher, if that makes sense. Yeah, but these both are very powerful cards as far as um, where your energy could be at. So you are at a very powerful position already. So it'll be interesting to see what that is. If it's another person that's going to meet you at your level, or if it's like an opportunity that is relevant to your status. And I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but by saying this, but sometimes people that have applied themselves in life and they've you know completed their associates, their bachelor's, their doctorate, whatever, and then they end up with jobs that they feel are beneath them, and that's not always their fault. Most of the time, not their fault. But this feels more like, if that's what that is, it's a job that you are properly trained for and that mirrors your skill set or your level. If that, I think that makes sense. It could, though, also just be literally an Aries or another Taurus. I know that the Taurus is not the Emperor card, but I do get Taurus vibes from this. But it could literally mean an Aries coming towards you, but we'll see when we clarify. So your advice here is the Six of Wands. I feel like that is um, kind of just a confirmation for you that you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, and to stay on that path. There is something that you are not aware of, or you may come to find out. Somebody may, like I said, bring you some type of information. There may be some deceptive or shady things that had happened, um, but I don't think that, for the most part, I don't think that you are really paying attention to that. All of these figures here, the Fool, the Empress, even though she's turned back, she's looking towards the Emperor. And this figure here, even though actually she's looking straight. Nope, no, she's not. Even she, I don't know if you can see that, her eyes are looking in this direction. So it's like looking towards the future, not towards the past. So I think that that's the advice here, is just keep moving forward, keep your eyes face forward, and let your feet follow you. Not literally, but figuratively. Um, this is also kind of like, if you've been waiting on something, some kind of recognition or validation or confirmation, I think this is a good card to get, especially with your outcome being up here. Again, clarifiers can ruin it in a heartbeat. Um, but so far, what I have here is that you will receive some type of victory and success, based on your current course, and to just keep going. Like Dory says, just keep swimming. Um, hmm. I just realized something. This, for some of you, again, the clarifiers will help in there, and we're in that direction. But for some of you, had you done something a little bit underhanded, maybe it was unintentional. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I'm not here to judge you. Um, but this card may also talk about, if that were the case, if you did do something a little underhanded, a little shady, some deceptive, you may be um, exposed. Because this giant figure here would represent you, and then you have like a fan base down here. But it's also about receiving a lot of attention, kind of being in the public eye. Usually, it's a very positive card about victory and success, especially after a long battle. But that's just a message that came to me while I was looking at these. For some of you, that might be a relevant story. That's definitely not the strongest one I got, though. for your advice. It's just mainly keep on your current course, um, and understand that you are. I mean, not that I feel the Empress is very self-confident, very self-assured. So she doesn't need people's validation, but maybe within a certain area of your life, you expect a certain amount of recognition. So I do feel like it would be pertinent to say, like, if you are looking or waiting for a job offer or a higher position, like a pay raise or a promotion, um, then this card is basically saying you will receive that. Uh, so yeah, that's your advice there. We will definitely get more information once we clarify. Moving on to your current, or what I say current, your most probable outcome. We have the Justice card, and that is a fair and balanced outcome. Now, keep in mind, this is probable outcome. This is a general reading, so this is not a definitive outcome for anybody. It is for the particular person that this all resonated with. There's a very good chance that this is your outcome. Well, you're probable, because we all have free will. But the Justice card, Libra, is a card about a fair and just and right outcome. Now, justice is. Sorry, I thought I heard him moving over there. Justice is impartial. So whether you are on the side of victory or the side of defeat, it kind of depends on your actions. So let's say you incurred some karma from past poor choices from the past. Um, this card would probably not be in your favor. But if you've done everything to the best of your ability with the right intentions and, being just yourself, being fair yourself, being balanced yourself, then this is a good outcome card. It kind of, again, like it kind of depends on which side of that fence you're on. It is karma based. So if you have accumulated good karma, then the outcome's good. If you have done some bad things or hurt people, that would say, your debt is your debt is here. You're going to be paid for your choices, poor or good, whichever. I'm going to kind of look over these real quick before I move on to part two. For some of you, I feel like you're stepping into unknown territory, but you do have a pretty high expectation for the outcome. And I believe it's well earned just because of the amount of work that you've put in into setting everything in place for uh, for a solid foundation. I mean, all the earth signs, but especially Taurus, they're well known for their ability to get things done. It's important to them to be able to provide not only for themselves but others, especially if you do have a family. It's a source of pride, and you take that on as your responsibility, your obligation, whether man or female. That is something. I mean, you also like to receive, not that you're, selfless. You can be quite stubborn, obviously, but I feel like you're wanting to go into unknown territory here. I do think there's some things that you need to be, or maybe beware of, or just acknowledge. Um, but overall, I get the sense that you are going in the correct direction. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what else comes out here. I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. If this video did resonate, please share your story, your feedback, um, your thoughts in the comment section. Uh, Feel free to leave a like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Um, Part two, again, will cover much more. It'll be much longer. Um, so even if you don't want to watch that, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this one and support my channel in that way. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute, hopefully. Thank you and have a good night.